Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our special program. We're back here in Kyiv, Ukraine, live from DS's residence, and I'm your host today, Pastor Joshua Amatare. And we've had a great time the past few weeks with different guests. And I believe that those of you who have been following us, you've really had fun and you've enjoyed yourself. And today we're going to have such a great time and we're going to have an insightful and inspiring time with somebody who's going to be coming to us all the way from Nigeria, and he's going to be sharing with us things that will inspire us, that will inform us, and will make us to see life a little bit differently, especially those of us on the continent of Africa. Those of you who are African, who are in the diaspora, this is one that you don't want to miss. And this is a video that you would want to share with your friends, share with your family, share with your loved ones. So right now, please go on your wall, share this link with as many people as you can. We are live on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube on the God Embassy channel. So please, you can share on YouTube, you can watch us on YouTube and also share that with your friends. And like I said, you don't want to miss this episode today. Excuse my voice, I've been in solitude the whole week, so my voice is a little bit hoarse, but I'm sure that you will still be able to hear me clearly, and the guest would also be a lot more, vocal than I am. All right, so once again, please share this link with your friends and make sure that you invite them to listen to this very inspiring story, because it's something that we need when Nigeria is in need of a feel-good story. We're used to hearing bad news. We're used to hearing discouraging stories. We're used to hearing of a lot of people fleeing the shores of Nigeria because they see a lot of hardship here and there. And a lot of people have lost hope in Nigeria. And a lot of people have lost any passion whatsoever to do anything within the shores of Nigeria. But we're going to be talking to somebody who started in Nigeria, who schooled in Nigeria, and who has been able to successfully build a thriving business in Nigeria in the farming industry. And this is an industry that a lot of people have looked down upon because they think, white collar jobs are the best way to go. But he's going to be changing our paradigm this evening, and you'll be hearing his story, and I'm sure that you're going to be inspired by it. So he is the CEO of Fresh View Farms, and he's going to be talking to us live from Kaduna State, Nigeria. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Phil Mutang, all the way from Nigeria. Hello, Phil. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's,
It's
fant-
it's a privilege to be here.
it's fantastic having you here with us, and I'm sure that at the end of today's show, a lot of people will be more informed about what it takes to farm in Nigeria and why they need to join the farming industry if possible. So, briefly, please tell us about yourself.
My name is Phil Mutang. I am the CEO of Freshview Farms Limited. I am a seasoned farmer. I'm a consultant, a advocate of youth entrepreneurial movement in Africa. Also, I am the Plateau State Coordinator for Nigeria Young Farmers Network.
That's amazing. What exactly do you guys do in the Young Farmers Network?
We bring like-minded people together, young Nigerians who are interested in farming. We bring them together. We share ideas. We share resources, and we also look for a way to solve the pressing problems we have in the agricultural sector in Nigeria.
Okay, that's great. So, without much ado, I would like you to tell us how you got into farming. Because a lot of people don't, look at farming as something that young people should get into, except of course they have no other options. But that's not what happened in your case. In fact, when we're talking, you told me of how you tried to avoid farming. So please tell us that interesting and inspiring story about how you got into farming before we'll go into other things.
Yeah. Initially, I hate the word farming. I hate it. But
Okay.
as a kid, growing up, my dad works in Nigeria breweries, but he's always referred himself as a farmer. We have a farm in Kaduna. We hardly buy food. We normally farm most of our food. Like we farm rice, we farm beans, We farm granuts, we farm cocoyam, we farm millet, so many things we farm. Most of the things we eat growing up, we farm it by ourselves. So I always hate that farming season. But I was blessed with a wisdom for it. I have a little wisdom for it. Whenever I go to farm, I would like to correct my dad and show him, oh, that why not we should do this? He will say, oh, that's good. That's good. I owned my first farm at the age of between 9 and 10, 11. That was when I owned my first farm. I went out to look for a place to farm. And when I did it, I don't know anything about weed, grass, just came cover everything, and I felt so disappointed. And animals, goats came and ate everything. I was sad. But I at that age, I always look for a way to solve problems. So I was looking at, okay, what can I do to overcome this? So that's where I went into an uncompleted building and then farm vegetable, and it grew very fine. I fetched it at that tender age and went and sold it. So you can see the thing is in me. So when I finished secondary school, I did remedial in Federal University of Technology, Mina, and after the remedial, they gave me agri. I was mad. I want to study electrical engineering, and you're giving me agri for what? Agri. And what? How many years am I going to study agri? They said 5 years. I said that's mad.
Wow.
Madness. 5 years to study agri. I jokingly told my friends, I say, I don't need to go to school to study this thing. If I'm going to be a farmer, if I'm going to study agri, I can do it at home. So why going to school to study it? That is how I drop out. I kept it to myself over these years. I dropped out and I went home. Didn't tell my parents, didn't tell anybody, just came home and stayed down for months. And they were asking me, are you not going back to school? And all that. I told them that no, I don't. I didn't make it there. So I applied again to another school. When the names came out, I went to check for my name. I searched everywhere. All the engineering courses I checked, my name was not there. Somebody said, why not check the other side? I said, no. But you know what happened? When I checked my name, I saw my name under agri again, under agri engineering.
Wow.
Agri engineering. I say, what? No, 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 no. I reject it in Jesus' name. No, I can't do agri engineering. So that was how I fought it and fought it. At last, I got admission to study electrical engineering, in which I went and studied, finished electrical
Was
engineering.
it in the same school you finally got electrical engineering, or you went to the third one?
Yes. No, no, no. The same second
The
school.
same university.
Yeah, yeah, Polytechnic.
Okay, Polytechnic. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I study electrical engineering, and after my electrical engineering, I went into computer engineering, doing all those hardware repairs and maintenance, and also buy and sell hardware. But when these smartphones started coming and everything, the business started crumbling, and then I started looking for ways to diversify. Ways to diversify. What am I going to do? I was in Lagos in 2013 and 14, and I was so fed up. And I was thinking, what should I do? What should I do? So let me go home and start farming. So, so I went back to it again. I love electrical engineering. God has blessed me. I have special talent. I fix electrical gadgets at a very young age. Fix electrical gadgets, do wiring, do a lot of things before even going to study electrical engineering. In my room, I used to construct amplifier. I built inverter. So I've never been to school, but I can read any circuit. Bring any circuit, I can read the circuit for you and everything. So, and I went into farming. I started with a little plot of land, and at the end of the season, we have a very handful harvest. I looked at the harvest, I was discouraged. So we took it to a village market, went and sold it, and I was just looking, how is this thing going to be possible? a lot of ideas. Okay, why not we should do? I love solving problem. Whenever I'm encountered with problem, I will start thinking of ways on how to solve this, like that. So I mark out a lot of mistakes we have made and everything, and then how we can expand and do better next season. So the next season we farm and everything. That was in 2015. You know, like that. At the end of the season again, we have a little better than the previous year. So from there, we took it to a village farmers market and sold it. So I started thinking of another way out. What are we going to do? What am I going to do to have a better um,
Harvest.
uh, harvest and a better price for my farm produce? Because if I continue like this, I'm going to suffer. So
I think we
after the
have
third
those
one,
pictures, the pictures
yes.
of the first produce that the first harvest that he did.
Mm.
As you're talking, we'll flash those pictures through the screen, and so that our viewers can see them. So go ahead.
Yeah. So in the third year, I did something different. I took a risk. I don't like people to know that I'm a farmer. I was shy. I was shy. So I was thinking, how am I going to sell this potato now we harvested? I was just thinking for a way out. Something just tell me share it on Facebook. I said no, not Facebook. So, so I I packed I snapped some pictures like that with my phone and then upload them on Facebook. When I upload them on Facebook, I went to wash my car and then come back to the room. I saw my phone was ringing. So when I picked the phone, I saw so many missed calls. And then I checked so many likes, comments on the picture I just shared on Facebook. Everybody is asking, Phil, send one back to me, send her back. How much is this? How much is that? Wow. In a twinkle of an eye, I had I had about 7 bags, but the demand there was over 50 bags.
Wow.
We sold everything. We sold everything. Went home, bring more, and distribute it to our friends on Facebook. I wrote it there that we can distribute to you. We can distribute it to your. We can deliver it to your house, to your office. Anyway, just give us a call and then make your order, and then we'll deliver to you. And then a lot of my friends, they were so supportive of me. Honestly, encouragement, word of encouragement everywhere, and we were able at the end of that season we were able to we sold over 160 bags. I can remember 160 bags. That was huge. I was able to sell all my neighbors collect all their own and sell too and everything, and a lot of encouragement. The following year we went ahead. The following year start talking about start talking about uh, our some of the lapses we had. The following year, we lost almost a plantation
Wow.
and
What?
to fungicide disease. The
Okay.
fungicide disease, like there was a breakout of a fungicide disease like that, but we didn't give up. Yeah,
All right. So on the screen now you can see. I think this was your first harvest, the one that you said
yeah, that
was very
yeah,
bad
just
and discouraging.
no, yes,
So
yes,
it's good that you didn't give up and you kept going, and
yeah.
in spite of how discouraging that it was. So what prompted you? Because the title of our show today for our viewers, like you can see on the screen, is from half a plot to over 200 plots. So in your first year, the harvest was bad. In the second year, it was bad. In the third year, you had an attack of a virus that wiped away, almost the whole plantation. But what happened in the fourth year?
In the fourth year, we got a breakthrough.
Okay.
We changed strategy. We we sat down and we went. I went back on the drawing board, start check. Okay, I think we make a mistake here. We can adjust this. We can do this. We can do that. And then a lot of encouragement. I'm telling you, I gave up. Completely gave up. So I went somewhere, and people were. I went somewhere. These people, friends I have on Facebook, they are amazing people. So meeting them, they will say, "Oh, see, we saw what you are doing. It's really inspiring." what you are doing is really inspiring. They were encouraging me. Deep inside of me, I was discouraged. So they were actually encouraging me and everything, like that. And I have people who are coming to say, okay, that's the farm neighbors who are telling me, okay, why not take our farm and use it, like that. So the farm begin to expand. You understand? The farm begin to expand, and then whatever we have, we reinvest. I think for like 2 years or so, we haven't gotten any profit. Whatever we have, we reinvest back into it, and then back into it, and then the thing kept expanding. By itself kept expanding, expanding. By God's grace, before the end of this year now, we're going to have like 2 times what we have now.
Wow.
We
So
have
we would like to
expanded,
give
we
a
have
special
expanded like
shout out. We would like to give a special shout out from the show to friends of Phil Mutang on Facebook. Thank you very much for encouraging him and helping him not to quit. Now, I can see that from your story. The first 3 years didn't really have anything that you could boast of that was good, but you didn't give up. So, what would you say to Nigerians who believe in this, quick or instant success kind of mentality, where once it doesn't work out the first time, some people will say maybe it's not God's will, or when it doesn't work out, they'll be like, okay, maybe this is not for me. What will you say to them from your own experience? Because it took you more than about 4 years for you to now begin to realize, the things that you wanted to see in your farm. And you said even a couple of years after that, you didn't have any profits because you had to reinvest. So what would you say to young Nigerians and people who are after instant success and who believe that for something to be theirs, they need to always find instant, gratification or find instant, breakthrough when they begin?
Honestly, I have problem with young people. Young people don't want, they give up easily. They give up easily. You just do something and then they want quick, 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 quick money. Want quick money. Want to see if you are doing something, and they will be, by now you should have been this way. You should have a car. You should have a house. You should have, that kind of thing. Those quick, quick, quick way. But one thing I want to tell the youth is nothing comes easily. Even if God wake you and tell you, see, go on this journey, you are going to be successful. Everything is going to be okay. You will encounter roadblocks. You will encounter setbacks, detours, everything. It will even look as if God has not called you. That is how it is. Because crises, challenges are inevitable. Challenges are inevitable. But that little prompting in your heart that keeps telling you, see, why not try again? Why not try again? You know, like that. So I want to encourage the youth, see, don't give up. Don't give up easily. Persistence is very, very important. There is nothing you are doing that you're going to succeed in the first year. If you succeed in the first year, fine. Fine, good. But most business fail at the second year, some 6 months. First year, you encounter setback and everything, and then you just give up. Some people will say, this thing is not working. They give. I have a lot of people I've encouraged. You understand? They got inspired by me and went into farming. They all give up. They all give up. Most of them give up. There are some that are doing very well. There are some that are doing very well. But if you give up easily, you're not going to go anywhere in life. Nothing is easy in this life. Nothing is going to come out easy. Everything is hard. You have to put that extra and extra and extra to get it. Okay.
Fantastic. I hope that they can hear you. And please, our viewers, make sure you share this video, because there might be somebody sitting at home today who's got a calling in farming, or who's got a calling to do something that they've been running away from. We see how hard Phil was working to get away from farming, and at the end of the day, that is what he was supposed to be doing. So please share this link, because somebody needs to hear these truths. And there's also something that you said that I would like you to buttress on, which is your passion for solving problems. Now, a lot of people avoid problems But DSA has a book actually that says, "Hello, I'm looking for problems." And when people see that book, or when they see that title, they're like, "Wow, everybody's supposed to run away from problems." But you said something that was very unique. You said you love solving problems, and each time problems come up, instead of running away, you always try to look for ways that you can solve them. How did you develop that mentality, and what would you like to tell young Nigerians about developing the same kind of mentality? Because without a mentality for solving problems, wealth creation, creating new products, bringing forth services is not possible. But for some reason, people believe that problems are things that they should avoid instead of confront head on and bring about solutions to. So talk to us about your process and also how you can develop that ability to, instead of running from problems, you face them head on and solve them.
Uh, from childhood, I always have this mentality that there is a way out.
Okay.
There is always a way out. There's always a way out. As a kid, when my friends are playing with their toy and the toy spoil,
Breaks.
they always run. Yeah, they rush back to me. I fix everything as a kid. Whenever you have any problem, I remember I have a friend when I was around 16, 17 years old, and the mother told him to go and call an electrician. So he went and called me, and I came, I did the electrical work. So again, after some few days, they have a plumbing issue in their house, and she asked him to go and call a plumber. He went and called me again. And I said, "Ah, the same person." So after some few this thing again, their chair, one of the chair they put their stove on it, break, and they asked him to go and bring
A
a
carpenter.
carpenter. He went and bring me again. You understand? So I have this mentality that there is a way out. And let me tell you, there is no problem that doesn't have solution. Every problem has solution. Sometimes if I'm working on a problem, in the farm, sometimes we work all day and then think all night, trying to solve problems and planning for tomorrow and everything. I'm telling you, I work all day, all night, all day, all night. I remember at a time we're having a lot of challenge. We're having a lot of challenge. After some like few weeks, like 4, 5, 6 weeks like that, I picked my phone. Samsung, the fingerprint stop working. The fingerprint is not recognizing my fingerprint. It's not recognizing my face recognition. To tell you how bad it has been, I've turned black because of the sun, the rain. Rain will beat us all day. I kept telling them, see, we are not giving up. There must be a way out. We'll go to farm as early as 3 a.m. and stay till 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Thank God we don't have snakes in those my area. There are no snakes. So we've been in the night in the farm, nothing happened to us. And it's something. So there is always a way out. If you have this mentality, I am telling you, let your brain never shut down. Just look for somewhere and sit down quiet. Sit down quiet. There is something in us, in all of us, that knows everything. All you need to do is just to be in a solitude, just to be in somewhere very quiet and listen to yourself, listen within you. A voice will be telling you, see, why not try this? Why not do this? Why not do that? Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, ooh, this is exactly what we are going to do. And then when I call my laborers and tell them, I see, we are going to farm today, we are going to do so and so thing, they will start clapping hands and say, yes, 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 exactly. You understand? Yeah, so there is this thing in all of us that knows everything. Just be quiet. Just be still. Like the good book told us, be still and know that I am God. That is the
Fantastic.
way out.
So, from the way that you've spoken now, it's clear that you're a Christian. Now, a lot of Christians always want God to do everything for them. So, how is it that you're able to translate your own faith into action of going into a farm to begin to produce some of these goods and services? Because, for example, you spoke about how frustrated you were in Lagos and how you decided to go back home to farm. Some people will stay in Lagos praying, going for special programs, going for one motivational talk after the other, thinking that, that is going to solve the problem. But for some reason, you decided that you were going to go back home and begin to do something that you're used to doing or something that was already innate and within you. So, talk to us about how you've translated your faith into action and using it in your farming process to become a success.
Mm. I remember when I was in secondary school, one of my senior, when he was leaving, he's like a role model to me. He taught
Okay.
me a lot of things. His name is Ayuba Musa. He is actually a Fulani who got converted. So I saw miracles in his life, practically miracles in his life. When he was going home, he told me, he said, Phil, you are taking over everything I'm leaving behind. So he left a lot of things for me, his corner, everything, his wardrobe and everything. And then he told me this thing, he said, always pray as if it all depends on God. And then when you step out there to walk, walk as if it all depends on your strength. You understand? Walk as if it all depends on your strength. And that is the mentality. When I begin to walk, I don't think there is any supernatural power anywhere to help me. Except if I have done and everything finished, then I cannot leave the rest to God. But I will keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and I will keep studying and studying and studying. If you tell me that God is going to do, fine, He's going to do, but we'll do it together. we'll do it together. So I'll be there in the front and then we'll keep doing. We'll keep doing, we'll keep doing. If you tell me that God is going to bless you, I will start thinking, okay, Lord, you are going to bless me. But let me be thinking, and in what way can I do this? And then you can add your own grace to it, like that. So I believe Christianity should be practical. Christianity should be practical. I've been inspired by some unbelievers who I made a mistake when I was in school. We will read and not reading. We'll be praying and praying and praying. You understand? And then after all the prayers and everything, these unbelievers will still make more marks than us in class. I kept asking myself, see, is is something wrong? Is God not real? That kind of thing. And I discovered that, see, these people are really working for it. So what I do is that I work for it. I work for it. I believe in God. I believe in God. And there was a time in my farm. Let me tell you this. There was a time in my farm after I've done everything exhaust all my budget. You understand? And I discover that that there is there are some parts that I've not applied the third fertilizer. I applied fertilizer for my maize like 3 times. So I've done the first, the second time, the second one. Now, during this process, that's last year, the COVID-19 stuff, the price, the price of fertilizer now went up from 7,200, it went up to 13,000 naira. So I have no budget for it. I've exhausted all my money and everything. I have made contact, called friends, looked for ways to raise money. There was no way. I tried everywhere, was shut down. So I look at the farm and I say, it is well. Enter car and move on. I didn't go back to the car. I just abandoned the whole place. You understand? That was where I can just give up. I just leave everything for God to do. I've done my best. You understand? But you have not done anything and you are praying that God will do this, God will do that, God will do this and fold your hand. Nothing is going to happen. No, that's the truth.
Amazing. I hope people are listening to what you're saying because a lot of
Yeah.
people think that they don't have to work as hard as they should as because they've prayed. But now you're saying that pray as much as you can, like it all belongs to God and it all depends on God. And then when it's time for you to work and do your own part, do it as if you've not even prayed at all. And it's interesting that your friend told you that in school because that's exactly what Dr. Sunday always tells us. He says he walks as if he doesn't believe in God, and then he prays as if everything, is in God's hands. And you have to always exhaust your options as a person. And you also mentioned something that you didn't talk about before, which was reading. you have to read and do a lot of research into the field that
Oh,
you're
oh,
involved
oh,
in to
oh.
make sure that you can gain as much knowledge as possible. Because
Yes.
if you're out of ideas, it shows that you're out of knowledge. So it's best you go look for
Mm.
new knowledge and then you come up with new
Knowledge.
ideas. But a lot of people just
Yes.
want God to do everything for them, and we can now see that it doesn't
Mm.
work that way. It's a balance between
Mm.
you and God. God has his part to play, you have your part to play, and that's why your, your friends in school who were not praying were always ahead of you in class because they were obeying the simple principle of working hard when it comes to your books. The Bible never told us that we should pray if we want success. It says that we should work hard. It said we should be diligent. He said we should make sure that we apply ourselves to whatever it is that we're doing if we want success. So, as many people as are
Mm.
listening to us today understand that no matter what field you're in, prayer has its role, but you also have your role to play, and you cannot abdicate your responsibility to God, and God is not going to abdicate his own responsibility to you as well. All right, so talk to us about how successful you've become in your fifth and sixth years, and we'll also show the pictures of your produce and all of your farm, products. Tell us what exactly
Mm.
changed for you in your fifth year.
Okay. you know, God is a rewarder. God is a rewarder. When I was diligent, I'm still working very hard because we haven't gotten anywhere. Now, we haven't gotten anywhere, but at least we are somewhere. Where we are somewhere. So along the way, I begin to attract experts. You understand? And then we begin to give quality service. You understand? And then we begin to give a very good price for our produce, and that begin to feature. A lot of people begin to we at a like 3 years now. For 3 years now, I've not even advertised anything on social media again. Why? Because I have a very large market that up to today, every year, I cannot meet up to 20% of the demand I have of all my farm produce. A lot of people begin to show up. A lot of people begin to encourage us. A lot of people begin to encourage us. A lot of hands begin to come in. People coming, okay, who assist you, in different ways. You understand? So, uh, so from there we begin to have um, some kind of God begin to send people to us. You understand? We begin to expand, having more land. If you zoom this picture, I think you will see over there over 60 people at this side of this picture, and then the
Wow.
other side we have over like 40 something people. We have over 100 laborers. We started with few laborers. Our laborers, I think we started with like two people, like that, and then myself will do some little work. But today we have hundreds of laborers who are coming to our farm to work for
Wow.
us. Yeah.
So you went from 2 to over 100.
Yes.
So talk to us. Who are these laborers? I think they look like women and young
Yes.
people.
Yes. 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 They are youth. As you can see, they are youth. They are youth and teenagers like that. And then we have a lot of women. Most of them um, most of them um, single mothers, most of them single mothers, and most of them are just housewives like that. So, and we have a lot of family coming. Sometimes we have families, father, mother, and the whole children coming to work in our farm. I feel very inspired. I have there is this old woman that normally work in my farm every. Oh, I didn't give you that picture. An old woman should be over 70. She used to come and work in my farm every year. She liked
Wow.
me so much. She always pray for me, and then she worked in my farm. As old as that woman is, she stands sometimes and work for more than 9 hours
Wow.
standing. Yeah, she work more than 9 hours. When all the youth are saying that, oh, we are tired, we want to go home and everything, Mama will be in the farm working, picking beans, like that. And then all the ones that the youth rush to do, she'll be following behind to be packing them, sorting for them, like that.
Amazing. So
So
that means
normally,
you've created
if you don't give
employment.
up,
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't give up, the success will always come. Success will always come. God is a rewarder. He sees everything we are doing. When we do it diligently and we are very hardworking, He rewards us. So we have expanded beyond our imagination. And by God's grace, this year we are going to double, maybe triple.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. Guys, you can hear it from the horse's mouth, so to say. And you can see that he said God is a rewarder. And it's easy to say that now because he was persistent and he was able to overcome the challenges that he faced. And that is why he's enjoying the rewards today. So please share this link and talk to young people, especially in Nigeria, who look down on the farming industry and who think, oh, it's just for people who are uneducated or people who don't have other options. Now we see that Phil is an electrical engineer. He's clearly talented in it, but his calling was mainly to the farming industry, and we can see how successful he is at it. And I believe that as more people begin to discover what it is that they've been created to do, you can go read Dr. Sunday Adelaja's book, Who Am I? Why Am I Here? That book will help open your eyes to understand who you really are and what it is you're supposed to be doing, so you don't spend time running around and ending up, where you started. So Phil's story now is a feel-good one because he was able to retrace his steps back to his roots and he began doing what it is that God created him to do. Now, there are a lot of people like Phil out there who are still running away from their calling today. I hope that they can see this video. I hope that they can hear us. And I hope that they can go back to what it is that their heart has been crying out for, as opposed to what it is that they feel that they want to do. I have a similar story as well. I'm an aeronautic engineer, but that is not what God called me for. That's not what God created me to do. I ended up discovering that much later, and today I'm, enjoying life a lot better than when I was chasing, becoming a pilot and all of that. So what you want to do might not be what God created you to do. When you figure out what God has created you to do, I would suggest and strongly advise that you follow God's advice and you follow God's purpose so that you don't waste time running after the wrong thing. All right. So I see
Yeah.
that you have a picture with, so back to you, Phil. I can see that you have a picture with a hoe and then there's also a tractor now in the background. So talk to us about the transition from how you went from using just the local tools of hoe and the rest cutlasses to being able to start using the mechanized system of farming with the tractor and the rest like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, farming, mechanized farming, using all these tractors and the rest of them is very good. It's very good. But sometimes one of the challenges we have in the this local farmers have is accessibility to all these tools. Understand its accessibility to them. I really love it. I admire it. You see how good they do ridges and everything, and then in a day you finish a whole 5 hectares of land in a day. You understand?
Yeah.
But we have challenges having them. You understand? Sometimes, like this one you are saying, I was on a queue for almost 8 weeks. I was in a
Wow.
queue. I registered it, I paid, I was on a queue in our local government so that I can use government tractor. We almost went almost out of season before we got the tractor to come and work for us. We have to add some kind of connection before were able to have the tractor. The second year was the same thing, like that. So tractors are very good, but having access to them is not easy at all. And by God's grace, we'll be going into more this mechanized
Mechanized farming.
farming, yeah, and using all this equipment and everything.
Okay, fantastic. So what would you tell young people who look down on the profession of agriculture,
They don't
especially
know what they are
Nigerians?
missing, especially in Nigeria. Let me tell you something. Femi Adesina, the former, is it, yeah, is it Femi also? The
Yes.
former minister of agriculture and this thing, he said something. He said that by 2030, the size of food and agri business in Africa will reach 1 trillion. He said, so if you are thinking of how to make money, eh, that is the sector you should be in. if you are really serious on how to make money, that's the sector, because that's where the gold mine is. Let me tell you something. Last year 2020, the agriculture contributed about 23.6% to our national GDP. The oil that we are boasting on was among is the fifth, I think was the fifth last year. Was among the I think the fifth, I think 8% or so, about 8% to our GDP. So you can imagine 23.6%, and it's going higher again this year. So the agri business is lucrative. It's very okay. There is nothing to be shy. One thing I've been trying to do is to rebrand agriculture, and I was successful to do it. A lot of people have seen agriculture in a different form now. I was able to change the mindset of so many youth about agriculture. You understand? It is not a dirty work, it's something that poor people do. No. And there was a day I went to farm. Among my laborers, I had over 30 laborers that day working in the farm. And then one lady just was behaving very, very smart. And then she was like supervising other people, do this, do that. And then she picked her phone and received a call. And I heard the kind of English she's speaking. And I moved closer. I say, hello, excuse me. I asked her, I say, are you a student? She not say yes, she's a student. She's an undergraduate in University of Jos, and then she's an undergraduate University of Jos, and she just came home for weekend, and she heard that there is somebody who has a farm, and then he's looking for laborers to work in his farm, and then she came to work for me. I was wow, wow. That day I pay her times two.
Wow.
I pay her times two. Yeah, I pay her just to encourage her. I was inspired. I say, wow, a undergraduate coming to work as a laborer in my farm. Meaning that people like this, tomorrow when you empower them, they are going to do wonders. And she worked very good. She supervised other people, like that. I told them, I said, see, I'm sorry, this one is getting times two. And I pay her times two to encourage us, like that. So agric business, I encourage graduates. Let's jump into this thing to rebranding. That's what I'm trying to do. I rebrand the agriculture. When I go to farm, I do things different. When I gather this farm, I encourage them. When they see me, when I go to a place, if I tell them that I'm a farmer, everybody will turn and look at me. Sometimes if I enter bank, I have to open my phone and show them. When I say I'm a farmer, they will say, no, it's not possible. How can you be like this? I'm a farmer. We expect to see somebody very dirty. That's what we normally have. Uh, so, so they see me. They say, I went somewhere some few weeks ago to buy a jacket for my phone. And I was talking. I told them, I say, yeah, I need this jacket because of water splashing of water and everything. Like that. So the man asked, say, water. What will get you into water? I say, I'm a farmer. We do irrigation farm. We pump water from the stream to the land and everything. And most of the time, I enter inside river, so I have to be using a wristwatch that is
Water resistant.
waterproof, water resistance. I have to use phone that is water resistance, and everything. And the guy told me he's coming. He went and called other people to come and see a farmer that's using a particular kind of phone.
Wow. Yeah,
His
I think
wristwatch and
please play us the video, the first video in the background, so that they will see the water thing you're talking about and the irrigation.
everything.
So
So
go ahead, please.
yeah, yeah. So I encourage young people, please let's come into this thing and change it. These old people and these uneducated people have been doing this thing the wrong way. You understand? Imagine 60% of farmers we have in Nigeria, 60% of farmers we have in Nigeria, those people in there that are in a crop production field. Most of them are uneducated. 60% of them are uneducated. 60% of them have just between a quarter and maybe 1 hectare of land. That is what they work on. But when we begin to bring our engineering scheme, We begin to bring all those our refined mind into the system. We will change everything.
True.
Will change everything. I discover that most of for instance, if you have a hectare of land and you farm um, Irish potato, for instance, you understand that hectare is going to give you maybe like 3 tons, maybe like 30 bags. 1 hectare can give you like 30 bags. But you know one thing, I discover through reading and research that that same 1 hectare can give us not only 30 but 150. So if we begin to have people who can go into those fields and study, like that, it's going to be amazing. Some of my laborers, when they are working, and I tell them, I say, see, give me the hole, let me show you how to do it. And then I collect the hole and I was showing them, they'll say, wow, where do you learn this thing from? I just laugh at them. I say, no, I didn't learn it. I just observe what you are doing. You understand? I just study what you are doing and everything. That's what a refined mind can do for you. Yeah. And when I tell them I can do this, I can do that, you see, we use 3 pumps to pump water into more than 5 hectares of land. You understand? This
Yeah.
is over yeah, we pump water. So when I tell them, see, I can do this, they'll be one day say, okay, no, you are too clean to do this, like that. I'll just laugh at them. Some people will tell me I cannot be able to do it. I say, no, you see me like this. I've done a lot of engineering mathematics, further mathematics, physics, advanced this and that and that. And I was able to pass these things. So if I can be able to do it, you that don't know anything, you that don't you can't even do all this little. I'm not abusing anybody. You cannot do those little addition, but you can be able to bring something like this. I should do better than you. I should do better. So when we begin to have young guys, you understand, youth, and that is what we are doing in Nigerian young farmers network. Nigeria Young Farmers Network. That's what we are doing. We bring in youth. You understand? We bring in youth instead of going around looking for white collar job, looking for office and everything. We can actually come together and farm. We can farm. I think we get to. I will get to that when we begin to talk about Nigeria and the future of agriculture and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that you're solving a problem in a two-pronged approach because first, you're creating jobs. Secondly, you're creating food. A lot of people, they go to an office and they sit down all day and it's unhealthy for them and then they have to go buy food. But when you work on a farm, you can, you create a job of people working in that farm and also they're able to get the produce at the end of the day to be able to feed themselves. So I think it's a very fulfilling field and I think it's something that more young people need to get into. Please put up the first picture of Femi Adesina. I found a quote and I think the person we're talking about is not Femi. His name is Akinwumi Adesina. And this is the quote. He said, "The future millionaires and billionaires of Africa will not be coming from the oil and gas sector. They will be coming from the agriculture sector. But I want African countries to be looking at agriculture as a business, not as a way of life. Nobody smokes gas, nobody drinks oil, but everybody eats food. So food is critical, and that is what Africa has a comparative advantage in." Akinwumi Adesina, President of African Development Bank. So I think that's the guy that you were talking about. And the second quote, I think, is the one that you were referring to, which is the one that he says, by 2030, the size of the food and agribusiness in Africa would reach $1 trillion. So if you're thinking of how to make money, that's the sector to be in. All right. So clearly this man knows what he's talking about because he's the president of a bank and he was also the president or the minister of agriculture in Nigeria. So he's somebody who has really delved into the agricultural sector and he has seen the immense potential that it has. $1 trillion business is one that every young person who is aspiring to create wealth wants to get into because the earlier you get on board, the better. And I believe that people like you are already leading the charge in the agricultural sector. And I'm really proud to know that there are people who are doing these things now instead of waiting for much later when things are a lot harder and things are a lot more difficult to sort out. All right, and I believe that even those who are going to come in later, you only wish you got in early, just like those in the Bitcoin industry right now who are saying, oh, how I wish I bought it 5 years ago. How I wish I got it 10 years ago. So it's best to get in now on the ground floor. All right, so talk to us about Nigeria. What is it that if somebody in the government is watching us right now, what would you like them to know? And what do you think that the government can do more to help young people who are into farming to actualize their dreams and to produce enough food that will help the nation to feed without stress?
Yeah, you know, Nigeria as a whole, Nigeria as a whole um, has about 98.3 million hectares. 98.3 million hectares. To tell you how big Nigeria is. Nigeria is a very big country, very big country, and 74 of 74 million of this hectare you can farm on it. You can farm on 74 million hectares. Now, according to, I was reading somewhere, they said that by 2030, that the population of Nigeria is going to increase to about, is it 400
400
million or
million.
so?
Yeah.
400, meaning that the country is going to expand and expand and expand. I can tell you, I know some places that used to be bush in 2010. It is now a city. How the country has expanded, meaning that a lot of people are coming to eat food. And all these people eat at least twice in a day.
True.
Everybody eats every day. So to tell you that, see, farming is the thing. And God has blessed us with the best weather in the world. Oh, Nigeria has the best weather in the world. Very, very good weather. Some of our weather, you don't even need to, some of our soil, you don't even need to apply fertilizer. You just plant something, it will grow and you harvest. You understand? So Nigeria has a lot of potential, but ironically, about 70% of Nigeria, 70% are living below less than $1 in a day. You understand?
Yep.
Food crisis tending towards famine in the country. People are hungry. I've seen it every day on the social media. People are hungry. That we are hungry, oh, we are hungry, oh. They are telling politicians they are hungry. They are hungry, and we are sitting in a vast land, potent land. When I was coming around somewhere, like that, coming in, I saw a big dam. This dam is surrounded by fertile land and nobody is doing anything about it. This place will be very good for agriculture, irrigation, farming. You understand? Because in the north here we have season. So now we are in the dry season where we do irrigation farming. You understand? Those lands are very good, but nobody is farming on them. You understand? So, ironically, now in a country that seems to have everything agriculture, we are now importing rice, we are now importing maize, so many food commodity, we import them into the country. It is a shame. It is a shame. We don't need to do that. Thank God for this government. When they came, they blocked everywhere. Everywhere people started struggling. And like that, we are forced to go into farming. Everybody going to farming. You can imagine Irish potato that grow plenty in Plateau State. We were importing almost 70% before 2015. We're importing almost 70% of what we consume in Nigeria.
Wow.
And whatsoever we farm just go to waste. What we are farming going to waste. And then we are importing those ones that look very big, that they put so many chemicals in it to make it look fine and everything, but doesn't have anything. Even taste is not as tasted as the one we have here. You understand? So why are we doing that? So, but thank God the government they came and they closed down the border Irish potato that we used to import from South Africa. Now the closed border, they have to turn back to us. Before a bag of Irish potato used to cost like 60 kg of Irish potato used to cost it used to cost 2,500, 3,000 naira, and now it's 12,500 naira. So
Wow.
you can imagine. You can imagine. So it encouraged a lot of people to go into farming. I've seen people who come into farm to meet me and told me that, see, I've relocated. I was in Abuja. I was working somewhere in Abuja, but I resigned from my place of work and come back home to farm. And they're doing it very well. I told them, fantastic, that's very good. So at least you leave that place now, another person that's looking for employment there, will get employment. So you see now, gradually people are getting employment. Gradually people are getting employment. I'm telling you, if our government can focus to more on agriculture, increase our budget and everything, crime will reduce. Those Boko Haram, whatsoever you see, Fulani herdsmen attack and everything, it will reduce drastically. It will reduce drastically. So I'm calling on government, politicians, and the rest of them to please look into this sector. Please, they should help us. Instead of you carrying money, laundering money out of the country and everything, you can help us with tractors. We'll come and ready. Just give us tractors at affordable price. You understand? You will do more to us.
All
Yeah.
right. So I
Mm.
believe that those who are watching, hope those in the government who are listening, can hear Phil's cry and begin to, not just tractors, give you guys as much as you guys need, like good storage facilities, more of those
Yeah.
equipments. They should just make those things available so that those who are willing to do it would have access to it. Because, like you said, you
Mm.
needed a tractor and you had to wait for 8 weeks. That's a couple of months. You had to wait for 2 months to be able to rent one tractor so that you can farm. And that's something that is already reducing your productivity because you would have been able to
Mm.
use that tractor within those 2 weeks and you would have finished all you had to do and moved on to something else. But instead, everything was on standstill because you needed just one tractor. So we hope the Nigerian government is listening and they hear your plea and they begin to make these things a lot more available. In the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, like you said, about 70% of the land in Nigeria is fertile and it can be used to farm. Most people are not doing anything on those lands. So I hope that
Mm.
there's a revolution of farming in 2021 in Nigeria
Yeah.
that will make people.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Um, I had someone saying that during Nelson Mandela exile, he actually stayed in Nigeria for some years in Nigeria.
True.
So he said something about Nigeria. He said that if you give me Nigeria in 2 years, I will feed the whole world. If you give me Nigeria, that in 2 years I can feed the whole world. I don't know how this statement. I've heard this several times from people, like that. And it's true. We have everything it takes to feed the world. We have everything it takes. If you travel from Benin by road, I've been on that distance by road to Lagos. I am telling you, you will see vast land with nothing on it. And when you travel from Meduguri down to Lagos or down to Port Harcourt, let me say Port Harcourt, you will pass big, vast farmland that nothing is being done on it. And they are very, very fertile land which can grow almost anything.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
I believe that more people are going to join the farming industry after listening to you because the possibilities are limitless. And like you've said, the demand is not in question. There's always going to be demand because Nigeria's population is growing daily and we're the poverty capital of the world. A lot of people are starving out there. So it's clear that demand is not a problem. Supply is the problem. I remember you said that you could not even meet up to 50% of the orders that you were getting when you went on Facebook to advertise your product, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
So that means that there are a lot of people out there who need the things that we've got in our farms, but we have very
yes,
few farms to service the needs and the demands of the people. So we need more farmers.
uh,
That's just the long and the
yeah.
short of it, right?
We need. Let me tell you something. I told you I can never forget. One of my friends, very good friend, his name is Bashiru. You know, Bashiru Oyakilome. I told him, I say, the demand for potato is too much. I don't know how will I meet up this demand? He told me, farm more. He said I should farm more. Yeah, he told me I should farm more. That thing keeps ringing. That's one of the reasons why I expand. I kept expanding. But no matter how I expand, how many people am I going to sell to? I had a call early January, and they are demanding for 10 trailers of maize.
Wow.
10 trailers of maize. Somebody told them that I'm working, I'm a farmer, and then they got my number and everything, and they need 10 trailers. How many am I farming? That is how the demand is.
I think
People
we've
will
got a
always,
video. Please show us video number 2 of where you had the seeds and you were supplying another farm that is even a lot bigger than yours and it's $1 billion farm. You were supplying them maize. So talk to us about that.
yeah, yeah. This farm is really inspiration to us. Change the video, not this video. So this farm is yeah, is really an inspiration to me. This is something I've been trying, aspiring to be. You know, they farm maize in a large quantity,
Okay.
but their demand is as big as they cannot meet up their consumption, what they consume. They cannot meet up to it, so they go to local farmers to buy from them. So we sourced, and then we sent to them. This year, between December and now, we've sent like 3 trucks to them. It's a farm. We send like 3 trucks to them. Yeah, we send like 3 trucks to that same farm. Understand? Yeah. So other farms to buy. You understand? Because they have the ones they can farm is not even enough. To tell you that the demand for this produce are very, very big. Now let me tell you why the demand is very high like that. Let me tell you why the demand is high.
Go ahead.
Nigeria, Nigeria as a whole consume about 1.5 million metric tons of maize. We consume annually 1.5 million metric tons of maize. You understand?
Yeah.
But what we produce locally is less than 1 million metric tons, or let me say 1 million metric tons. Now, where do we get these 500,000 metric tons? And Buhari is not smiling. He closed down the border and asked us to go and farm and get it. You understand? Because of that, a lot of industries are rushing, looking for where to get maize, you know, like that. Like for instance, like 7 weeks ago, that's not last year. Last year, December, we are buying a bag of maize at 13,000 naira, 12,500 naira. December, 12,500 naira. As I speak to you now, it's about 19,000 naira.
Wow.
You see the difference. And you know why? You know what? It will keep going up and up and up, maybe 30,000 naira in the next few weeks. It will reach like 30,000 naira in the next few weeks. Yes, because no new maize is coming in. New maize are going to start coming in October. In September, October, that's where we'll start having a new maize. So whatsoever you have right now is like a Bitcoin.
Amazing.
It's like a Bitcoin. Yeah, I told some people that see, we have some few in the store. We are not going to sell it. We have to wait till it can go off so that we can buy fertilizer and be able to do the next season. So
Incredible.
like that. Yeah.
So
So
that means,
the
go ahead.
closing of border really motivate a lot of people to go into farming. A lot of people have gone into rice farming, Last year during rainy season, I've traveled across more than 7 states. I saw something amazing. When you are traveling on the road and you turn to your left, you will see rice farm. You turn to your right, you will see rice farm. Like that, you will travel more than 600 kilometers. You will just be seeing farm, rice farm, rice farm. Despite all this, we are still having people demand for rice. The price of rice is, is still on high. You understand? So what it's trying to say, people should go into farming. You understand? So this really motivates a lot of young people to join us. And I'm really we're trying to encourage them. You understand? Encourage them so that they can join us. Yeah. Yeah, this is
Amazing.
our store. Yeah, this is our
So
mini
this is
store.
your store and you're loading a truck, right?
Yeah, we're loading a truck. Yeah. Yeah. This goes to Ola Farms in Kaduna.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And with all of this, it's still not enough.
It's not enough at all. At all. I have a friend who has a very big farm also. He called me, he was asking me for this same product. I said, what about your own? He said his son is not enough. So
Wow.
you see the demand? Yeah, I told so somebody called me some few days ago, say they want to go into farming and I should encourage them. What are they going to farm that when they harvest, they can have a market for it? I say anything eatable, people will buy. Anything you're doing, eatable, people are there. The market is there because the border has been closed down. Whether you are
Incredible.
into animal production, crop production, anything you sell, people are buying it now. People are looking within. We are even looking for how to export now. We don't even have enough home now. People have been asking me. I have demands from Ghana. I have demands from Ghana. They said at the time that they were looking for 70 tons of maize, that we should please supply them 70 tons of maize in Ghana.
And I'm sure they were willing to pay any price.
Yeah, they are willing to pay because it's not really scarce there in Ghana, and they are paying at a high price compared to what we have here. When I convert the money into Nigeria, I discovered that it's almost times two of a bag here in Nigeria.
Wow. And is the Buhari administration allowing you guys to export?
Oh, I don't know, but I don't think that would be a problem. I
Okay,
think
so
it's
the embargo
importation
is
that is
only on
not
importing, but when it comes to
importing.
exportation,
Yeah,
you have a
yeah,
free reign.
yeah, yes.
Okay. You talked about people are willing to buy almost anything as long as it's edible. Talk to us about the kidney beans. Please put up the pictures of the kidney beans. Tell us how you got into farming kidney beans and what is it about?
Kidney beans is amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's one of the best beans in the market. Terms of nutrition, kidney
Okay.
beans is the best. It has the difference between kidney beans and beef. They are not much. They are not much. In
Wow.
fact, it is more nutritious than meat. This red meat, you see it red. This red meat is even more nutritious than this
You
red
mean
meat
this is more
because I
nutritious
don't
than
have.
beef?
Yes, I will send. I think I just made a mistake not sending you the nutritious this kind of this kidney beans. The demand is very very high. I think I met somebody demand for about 20 kilos the other day, and he said that the boss was looking for this thing every day. He came from abroad and he was looking for it. They went to ShopRite and got one in a can like that. That was very expensive, like that. So when they got like 20 kilos for the boss, he was celebrating. They say normally vegetarians normally eat kidney beans as their meat. They
Okay.
eat it as their meat. Very, very low in cholesterol. It's very, very good, very nutritious food.
Amazing.
I will send you the benefit. I have like 20 benefits of these kidney beans. I think I'll send it to you later after the show, everything, or maybe we'll drop it for people to see.
I'm just looking online now and I can see that 0.56 grams, just a little 0.56 grams over here of these kidney beans cost 2,500 naira. So it's quite
Wow.
expensive. Yes, 0. That's just a small packet. I'm looking at it online right now. Just the
Yes.
small packet
Yeah.
costs 2,500 over here in Ukraine. So it's expensive. It's more. It's almost times. This is times. Let me see. I bought rice last week, and that was 20. So this is almost times 8 of how much a pack of rice cost.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow. So you see, so you can see it. What's the size? What's the size? What's the kg? The weight?
0.56, 0.56 kg. Just a small pack.
Oh my goodness. And you know, 2,500. I
Yes,
think here is like 200 naira. Here is like 200 naira. We said it's like 200.
amazing. I
Yeah,
would try
because
to I would try to put it up on the screen so that people can see it for themselves. What cost 2.5 of these kidney beans? And it's interesting because before we started communicating, I didn't even know about kidney beans, and I didn't know that it was something that people even cared about. But then when I saw how nice it looked in the pictures you sent, I got interested. And you're right, I looked up some of the nutrients online, and it's highly nutritious. And the price alone drew my attention to the fact that this is not something that you can just pick on the roadside. It's a delicate and very advanced meal out there that people really love to have. So yeah, you're right. It's very nutritious, and like you can see, the demand for it is high.
Mm, yeah.
Incredible. All right. So before we go, what message do you have for people who want to get into commercial farming like yourself? What advice will you give to them? Because a lot of people, might be skeptical. They will be like, I don't think I have 3 years or 4 years to waste on the farm before I get my breakthrough and stuff like that. Yeah, so you see this. This is the one I'm talking about that costs 2,500, just this small packet.
Mm,
Yeah, over here in Ukraine. So I can only imagine what will happen if we decide to start importing it from Nigeria to Ukraine or exporting it out of Nigeria to Ukraine. So that's a very big business opportunity right there that we might just be exploring in the near future. All right, so back to my question. Those who want to get into commercial farming, what exactly would you tell them in addition to what you've already said?
yeah. Um, like, what advice? No. Okay, let me look at all the questions that people normally ask me. They say, I want to start farming. Where should I start from? Start anywhere. Start small. Start small. You can start it in your house. You understand? You can start it with just your flower bed. Your flower bed can be turned into a little garden where you can farm vegetable. You understand? You can farm vegetable. And if you want to do something maybe a little bit bigger, you can just start maybe with a plot of land. You don't need to make all the mistakes we made. You don't need to make it because we have mentors. We can mentor you. You can join us in Nigerian Young Farmers Network. You can meet us personally. You understand? You can meet us personally. If you check Phil Mutang on Facebook, you can see my contact and everything is there. You can ask. We can encourage you on how to start small. And by God's grace, we are working on something. We're working on something, a stream, where in people who are working in the office, who want to go into farming, can be able to have like a hectare of land and be able to farm on it. Because some people asking us that they want to go into farming, they say they don't have land. They don't have land. So what we want to do is that we want to acquire more land this year. We want to expand very big. We want to list for more land. Then we can bring out people who really want to, who have passion, who want to go into it. Then we can give them maybe a plot, a hectare, and then they can farm on it. We want to go maybe something like a cooperative, like that. We are trying to
Okay.
build a structure first. Yeah.
I believe that that structure will go a long way to help people because a lot of people need guidance, a lot of people need mentorship, like you said, and a lot of people
Yeah.
just need somebody to give them that little push to tell them, hey, come on, you can do it, and it's
Mm.
possible. I'm doing it. They just need to see someone who is doing it for them to be able to join. And I believe that that will go a long way to help and create a whole new industry of young farmers. Go ahead.
Yeah, and farming is not hard. It's not hard as people normally think of it. It's not hard. Sometimes, if you want to be outstanding, you want to be the best. You understand? That is where you need to add something extra, an extra to it. But it's not hard. Just little. If you are a very observant person, you can observe something. I'm telling you, you can find anything. I can never forget when I was very young, maybe like 6 years old. I went and looked for a tin, this milk empty tin, and I pour sand inside. And then I look for a corn, pour it inside, cover it, and then pour water on it and hide it somewhere. I'm telling you, for the next 3 days, I was frustrated, coming to check, is this thing not going to grow, like that. And then one day, it started bringing out a green leaf and then it grew up. It was a miracle. I look at it, wow, this is wonderful. See, it's as simple as that. You put the corn on the ground, cover it, put water on it, and then you see it growing. Farming is not hard at all. It's not hard. It's something very easy that we can do. Anybody can do it. Anybody can start small. And if you are thinking of starting it very big or doing something very big, you can contact us. I'm also a consultant. So I can consult you and guide you and mentor you on how you can go about it. But opposition will come. People may not help you. And the banks, I didn't talk about that one. Excuse me a minute, please.
Go
You
ahead.
see, we have problem of funding. You understand? We have problem of funding when we want to increase. Like when I was wanted to expand, you understand? We lack funding. We lack people to invest. You understand? And then commercial banks are not willing to give you anything. Commercial banks in Nigeria, they don't give you anything. Even the banks that you have turnover of over 5 million cannot give you 200,000 or 300,000 to return it back in 3 months. They will
What
not
is
give
their
it.
excuse? Don't they have a healthy loan, a package that they can give to people like yourself who have land and all that? And you can use your land as collateral. So
You
what
see,
exactly is the problem?
they will ask, yes, they will ask you for something they know you don't have. They will ask you for something they know you don't have. They
Like
will ask you
what?
to bring COO. They will ask you to bring COO, certificate of ownership, of that bush that it's not even, you can't even get to see of all of it. You understand? They will ask you to bring it. One of my friend, I went to his farm in Nasarawa State. He told me, he said, see, the banks are asking him to bring a CO4 of a house in Abuja. In Abuja. You can imagine. You see, after the bank came, they saw everything they had in their farm. Their farm worth over 2 billion. They are still asking them for things they know they don't have.
So because the local people own the land and they don't have the
Yes,
documentation for it, the bank is now
yes.
refusing to give you any
To
loans
keep the
because
land.
they are saying
No,
we cannot have any claim on this land because there's no document to back it
yes,
up. Is that the problem?
yes, yes, yes.
Ah, okay. Okay, I understand.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Well, it's up to the citizens to get involved and get into investing with farmers like yourself since the banks are not willing to
yeah,
get involved.
yeah.
All right. All right. I, for one, I'm getting into the agricultural business. That's for sure. 100%. So, those of you out there, if you're willing to join me, you're welcome. All right. So, like Phil has said, you can consult with him and get him on his Facebook page, and he'll be able to help guide you through the process if you want to get into farming. The earlier you do it, the better. Stop sitting around waiting for some cushy government job somewhere or some white collar job somewhere. You can farm at any time and you can start with what you have. Start where you are, start with what you have, and sooner at the end of this year, by December, you'll be able to look back and say, wow, look how far I've come. And there's this mentality that is only those who are in white collar jobs that are going to make it big. You heard it from Mr. Adeshina, and he said the next millionaires and billionaires in Africa are going to come from the farming industry. And he's somebody that knows what he's talking about because he's run a bank, he is running a bank, and he was also the Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria. So if you want wealth, you can create it in agriculture.
Mm,
You've heard from Phil that the demand is so high that the supply is not able to meet it. So there is a huge vacuum for people who are willing to step in to come in there and begin to supply and begin to create these products and begin to do it in a very intelligent and mechanized way, and we'll be able to have the
mm,
products that we need. Nigeria should not remain the poverty capital of the world much longer because we have the resources. It's right there on the floor. All we have to do is
mm.
get involved and begin to make use of it. All right, so Phil, any final words before we go?
Yeah, I just want to thank DSA for this wonderful opportunity. I'm really, really grateful. Please, my regard to him.
All
I've
right.
been following him for a very long time. He has been an inspiration to us. So I really thank him. And also, I want to thank all my friends on Facebook. They have been of help to me. They have been sending a lot of prayers. They wishing me well. They have been connecting me to people, to opportunity. I remember one of my friends on Facebook connected me to Nigerian Young Farmers Network, in which I become a coordinator for my state. I want to say thank you. His name is Jeremiah is his name. And I want to thank one of my very good friends, Adamu Bashiru. He has been a very, very good, he has been an inspiration to me for so many years. Yeah. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the viewers for taking time to watch this program. And I want to say that we'll meet again. Maybe one of these days we'll still come back here and have another episode of this.
Sure, I'm looking forward to that. But before you go, talk to us about
Yeah.
DSA. How did you come across DSA? Because not everybody in Nigeria has a favorable view of Dr. Sunday. So how did you come across him, and how did you start following him and, gaining a lot of knowledge from him and refusing to be distracted by a lot of the noise coming from detractors and people like that?
Yeah. Uh, in 2007, was it 2007 or
Wow,
2008? One of
that's a
my friends
long
was
time
telling
ago.
me, he said, yeah, he told me, he said, see, do you know that there is one Nigeria who is making a lot of impact in Ukraine? You understand? And I say Ukraine, a black man doing something in Ukraine. Ah, you say, yes, 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 you need to check up this guy. And then we check online and we were amazed. I'm telling you, I can't believe to see this black man in the midst of these white people. I've never seen it anywhere. I've read God's general volumes and volumes of God's general. I've not seen this kind of unique impact. Honestly, his impact in Ukraine has been a source of inspiration to us. I told my friend at that time, I said, see, these are people that are coming to be a Joseph to us in this country. And that is what he's doing now. This is our Joseph because they didn't grow. They are not part of the problem. God actually removed them. So for coming to bring us out of it will not be very easy. You understand? But they also, that like Moses, I mean, like Moses, to bring us out of it, it will take people like them. To take people like them. So I got one of his book called Spearheading something, one red book like this, Spearheading a National Revolution or something like that. And
The red book is
after
Church
reading that
Shift,
book,
I think.
church shift. No, no, no.
Church Shift is the red one,
Spearheading.
but there's another book on spearheading a national transformation. So you're right. Go ahead.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, that is it. Spearheading a national transformation. Yeah, I read that book in 2008 or so. Ah, it was mind blowing. I went through that book. I say, wow, wow. That was when I started following him. I started
Okay.
following him. I started following him. So many things people don't know about him is that most of these things he's saying now, it's not that he has always been like that. He has always been like that because you
That's
have
true.
to have that kind of mentality to be that kind of. Yeah, I used to tell people, I say, see, you guys are thinking that he has changed or all these things he's doing is just now. He has always been like that. The him that I've researched so many years ago is still the same thing now. He's been having this big mouth to say the truth. Blunt. I'm telling you, he's a
Amazing.
source of inspiration to us. He gave us voice. things that we cannot say, we are saying it too. You understand? Because when you part the way and everything and you move, we that are coming behind you, we just walk in, like that. So I'm really grateful to him. I've been following him on Facebook and everything, like that. I have some pastors friend that I have to used to when they call me, they say, "Are you sure this man is okay?" I'll have to sit down and break things. When I break, they'll say, "Oh, really? Is that what he means?" Say yes. They say, "Okay, okay, okay." So we'll stop abusing him.
Amazing. That's great to
Yeah.
hear that at least you have the
Mm.
understanding and you're able to bring that same understanding to other people.
Yes. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so before we go,
Yeah.
you told me when we're talking prior to this time that you went to a Bible school and they were trying to make you some kind of pastor. But we can now see that your own ministry is in the farm industry. So talk to us about how you were able to dodge the conventional pulpit ministry and begin to become a minister in your farm.
Yeah. They always, they always see me as a pastor. And the only time our pastor was when I was 17 years old in primary secondary school. I
Okay.
was a I was a hostel pastor for like a year. I was a hostel pastor, and it was wonderful experience. And people always see me as a pastor, but I am this kind of person that I'm not really comfortable with the church thing, the church setting things and everything. I want to do something outside the church. I want to meet people outside the church. I want to preach outside the church. I want to show the life of Christ outside the church. And by doing that, I was able to meet a lot of people, and I'm meeting them every day. When I have people come to farm to work, and sometimes when we are tired, we sit down somewhere, and then I will look for something, and then I will turn it, like that. They will say, "Oh, oh," they will be the one quoting the scriptures, and then we'll have fellowship. You understand? And I love it. We'll have fellowship. So the church outside, the testimony outside is what I am. Most of the miracle that Jesus does is just outside the church, actually. It's just outside the church. You understand? So I like to be seeing things like outside. I like to carry my message outside the auditorium. So this office thing, I'm not really comfortable with this office thing for a very long time. You understand?
Okay.
I'm not really comfortable with this office thing, sitting down and then, pastoring in the church and everything. I'm not against it, but I want to be outside the field. I want to meet people on the street. I want to meet people in the farmers market and then tell them about Christ. When we do something and then they are inspired by it and ask us, "How do you do this?" We point them to Jesus. We say, "See, this is the way. This is where we draw our inspiration." Jesus will bring the Bible to them. We'll show them and they get, "Whoa, this is wonderful." Sometimes when I finish talking to them in the farm, they say, "You should be a pastor now." You should be a pastor. You should be a pastor. I said, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah, you're a social
I'll finish
pastor
my
and
work
you're
there.
right where you're supposed to be. Not every pastor needs to stand on the pulpit in church. We have social pastors. That's what they are called over here in God Embassy. And these are people who go to their own sphere of life to pastor the people who are in those spheres. So you are in the agricultural sphere and you're pastoring people there. You don't need to be in the church. You can take those people to church if you like, but if not, you can do whatever you want to do with them right there on your farmland. Those who are in the modeling industry can do the same. Those who are in the banking industry can do the same. Those who are in the academic industry can do the same. Those who are, in whatever field, the bodybuilding field, when you come here, you see people in the bodybuilding field, in the rehabilitation field. Everybody has their own sphere of dominion. So not everybody needs to stand
Wow.
in church, put on a suit saying, "Praise the Lord,"
Mm,
and that's just 1%, I feel. That's just 1 to 5% of
mm,
people who are called. The rest are called
mm,
to go into the world and be a light. The
mm,
Bible says we are the light of the world, not the light of the church.
mm,
So I love the fact that you've
mhm,
discovered that your own field
mm,
is in the farmer's market, not in the church.
mm,
And you'll be a lot more effective there because you feel at home, you speak the language of the
mm,
farmers, you understand the trade,
mm,
you're bringing in a
mm,
product, so they'll be able to relate with you more than somebody like myself. If I show up in a suit, they'll be like, oh wow, who is this guy? And they will be like, oh, they will not want to come around because they'll say, oh, let's not get him dirty, or maybe he's not one of us and all that. But when you show up, they listen to you more and they're
mm,
able to relate to your message, and they'll become Christians, they'll become saved. And that's all that matters. Bringing people to the kingdom,
mm,
making them realize that Jesus really is Lord, he can save them, and they'll be getting delivered.
mm,
You prior to the show, you spoke to me about some drug addicts who were working for you, and how some of them just love
mm,
listening to you, and how they said, if you don't even pay us, we're fine. Talk to us about that story before we
mm.
go.
Yeah, we work with young people. Most of our, like I said earlier, most of my laborers are young people. Some of them are addicted, they are into drugs. Some of them just came to the farm to just get something that they can just use to go smoke later in the day. You understand? But I
Wow.
chip in something into their life. I take time to talk to them in a just use wisdom to talk to them. So some of them, as you see, when you see them tomorrow coming to the farm, you know that this life has changed. Their dressing looks different. Their dressing looks different. The words that is coming out of their mouth, over time you see it changing and changing and changing. So that's what I do. When I discover that, see, this one, we need to talk to this one. I will carry him along in the farm, and then I will take him somewhere. Both of us will sit down and be walking, and then we'll be talking. Why are you doing this? Why are you harming yourself? You understand? There is a way out. And then when you start talking to them, they will repent before you and tell you that, you see, I've been struggling with this thing. I've been struggling, like that. So from there, we begin to lead them and talk to them. Yeah. So doing that, I was able to reach out to a lot of them. Some of them they want to. Some of them when they tell them that I have to work in the farm, they come in their mass. You understand? I used to make refreshment for them. They eat maybe breakfast and then lunch. You understand? And then we have fellowship. Sometimes we play music, gospel music, and we sing while we are working in the farm, like that. And then I take my time
Amazing.
to encourage them. Those that are going to school, I encourage them how to study, like that. My academic life is an inspiration. They draw a lot of inspiration from me. I encourage them. Some of them have been where they are. I struggle with what they are struggling with right now. So I encourage them to go back to school. Those that are going to school, I encourage them to go back to school. Those that are not in school, we look for a way to get them back to school. So those that are struggling with one thing or the other, we sit down, we look at way on how to help them out.
Incredible.
Yeah.
You're such an inspiration, Phil. Thank you very much for coming. And I'm really encouraged by the fact that you have embraced your calling, and you've embraced it right in the farm. You've not done it somewhere else, and you've not joined us putting on suits to stand on pulpits, and you didn't allow them to box you into, the conventional four walls of the church. You are doing the real work of God, and that is what is required in this 21st century. We need to meet people where they are, and we need to meet them in our own places of calling. We don't have to, be transporting people out and trying to force them out. We need to just make things as interesting, as dynamic, as natural as possible, so that people can really embrace God in a dynamic way, instead of trying to make everybody, having the one size fits all kind of approach. So thank you very much for coming. We'll have you back again sometime to further discuss this
Thank you so
topic,
much.
because it's something that is the future. So thank you very much for coming once again. Remain blessed, and we look forward to more of your success stories. And our regards to everybody over there in your farm. Tell them that we love what they're doing. They're feeding the nation, and we encourage them to just keep going. And we will be coming in with investments by God's grace. So remain blessed, and bye for now.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Phil Mutang all the way from Kaduna, Nigeria. And look, you've heard it for yourself. It's such an inspiring story. He started with 2 people. He has over 100 staff right now. He started with just 2 plots. He's now farming on over 200, and he even wants to expand, but the resources are limited and they're restricting him from doing just that. I encourage every single person who is listening to think about getting into farming one way or the other. You don't have to be a farmer yourself. You can just invest. It's the future. It will help create wealth. It will help give you food. It will help create jobs. And there is no downside to becoming a farmer, actually. There's no downside to getting into the agricultural sphere. So I hope that those who are watching us, whether you're in the diaspora or you're in Nigeria, I hope that you've been encouraged, you've been inspired, you've been well educated today on the challenges that are facing the Nigerian market. And I hope that you'll be willing to step in and help to mitigate some of the lack that we're having, either in investments or creating more supply to meet the demand. Like he said, in the maize world, a year we need 1.5 million tons, and in Nigeria we're not even producing 1 million yet. And he did something that many people might not be fans of, which is praise the Buhari administration for closing down importation, which is now forcing the Nigerian farmers to become innovative and to create more, because we are now the ones who have to feed ourselves instead of relying on importation. So I believe that that single policy has really helped to create people like Phil, and I believe that it will help to create a lot more. All right. Thank you very much once again for joining us. Please share this link. What has been said today is really, really good for a lot of young people to hear, and I believe that it will help to deliver them from, depression, from being negative about Nigeria, and they'll be able to see an opportunity that they can step into immediately and begin to make a difference. We have a few mentorship groups that we would like you to join. DSA is running 2 mentorship groups at this time, or let's say 3. There's the conventional mentorship where you can just write in and you'll be told what to do. There is the mentorship for those who want to become millionaires. And then there's the mentorship for who am I? Why am I here? If you want to discover your purpose in life. So all you have to do is write to mentorship@godembassy.org and tell them, hey, look, I want to find out who I am, or I want to find out, how to become a millionaire. And you'll be welcomed into the group, and immediately you begin to be tutored. Becoming a millionaire is a skill. And I believe that as you're taught, you will join those who are millionaires and you become a useful tool in God's kingdom, because with wealth, there's a lot more you can do. All right, make use of the resources that DSA has. His books are out there on Amazon.com, on Kindle. If you're subscribed, you can read as many books as possible. And the more you read, the more you know, the better you become as a person, the more useful you become as an individual, the more creative, the more products you'll be able to put out in the world, the more difference you'll be able to make. If you're in Nigeria, you can go to dsabooksplanet.com, and they have all of DSA's books. I believe they also do deliveries of hard copies. So if you go on that website, you're able to explore that option. There's also a new website called bambooks.io. They have a subscription service. I think it's similar to Kindle. When you subscribe, you can read as many books as you like for the period of your subscription. So please make use of this, these tools to fortify yourself and make yourself into a personality that will make a difference in the world. Phil is already making a difference in agriculture. I don't know what your own field might be. Your own field might be in the music industry. It might be in the research industry, science, technology. I don't know what it might be. But whatever thing that God has created you to do, you can accomplish it as long as you're well fortified as a person. Nigeria is a country that is desperately in need of help, and we need people who are willing to stop complaining and begin to provide solutions in a very practical way that will bring about relief to the nation. So God is counting on you. Nobody was created just to, be a lazy bird or just sit back and watch others do what they're supposed to do. We're all created to get involved. We've all been created with tools, with abilities, with talents that are needed. So please get involved, sharpening your own talents, and sooner or later you would also be celebrated by the world, because there's nobody who provides solutions that does not get celebrated or does not get recognized at one point or the other. You can also go on YouTube. Thankfully, we're back, and you'll be able to see all of DS's messages. They've all been put in playlist form. And if you want to grow in your faith, if you want to grow in your prayer, if you want to discover who you are, if you want to find out how to properly get married or how to build a good relationship with your parents and parents with kids, how to understand the church, if you want to become a pastor or an entrepreneur, no matter what it is that you've got, if you want deliverance from one oppression or the other, DSA has got series that he has prepared for you. All you have to go is just go on YouTube, go to Sunday Adelaja Official, and you'll be able to see all those videos and you can explore them. And I believe that you will completely have your deliverance. All right, so we'll be back here next week, same time. Thank you very much for joining us today. Till then, God be with you. Take care of yourself and bye for now.